Morning everyone. Basically, I wanted to do a little quick brief video about your motorized bikes. So there's a lot of different people out there. They would prefer to, let's say, have an e-bike, which is obviously like an electric version of the actual bike itself, or you can have a two-stroke. So there's two different ways that you can do this. You can obviously buy an e-bike and basically you can take it like loads of different places. The same with the two-stroke bikes as well. You can take them a few different places. But I just wanted to talk about the fundamentals of both different bikes as well. So say for instance with the e-bike, you can actually take it a few more places than your two-stroke motorbike, and the actual like two-stroke motorized bike itself, it's going to be a lot more speedier, a lot more faster. And like with the e-bikes, I want to tell you, like, say for instance, like a few negatives in a way. The negative that I've noticed as well is that there are quite a lot of videos out on YouTube even as well that like these bikes, you need to be so careful if you don't know what you're doing. Like with the wiring itself, they can potentially actually catch fire. Okay, and obviously with the two-stroke, no, I haven't really seen any sort of two-stroke like motorized bike engine catch fire itself, right? So I think, to be honest, it depends on the person. Like with a two-stroke like motorized bike, you can't really take it like say on a public road over here in the UK. You can in America, obviously, like in certain parts of America, you'll be all right. But if I wanted to like take my motorized bike somewhere a little bit further out, I'm gonna need to take it on the back of my Land Rover, or I'm gonna have to say put it on a trailer or something, and that way like take it a little bit further out. Because like I said, you're not allowed them out on a public road, so you just gotta be very, very, very careful. Say like with the two-stroke, it's gonna be way more faster. Okay, especially if you install a jack shaft kit, they will go up to about 70 mile an hour. So they are really, really quick compared to an e-bike. I mean, an e-bike, it depends like the actual usage of what the person actually really wants it for. I mean, two strokes, yeah, they do loads of different racing sports for two strokes now. So like if you want to upgrade the actual like engine, you can take it on a track and then like just race it against all your friends if they have a similar sort of setup. And yeah, to be honest, I mean, it's a very similar sort of setup, like two different ways. You can either buy the front hub or the back hub that I've seen, like with the e-bike itself. And obviously you wire that up to the actual motor itself and then the battery. But a lot of these batteries, if like I was mentioning before, if they're not wired correctly, they will actually catch fire. So it's very, very, very dangerous. But with the two-stroke engine, you're not going to have like that many problems with it itself. Okay. Also with like, say, I'll give you another example, right? If you wanted to add more accessories to wire these up to your batteries from your e-bike, it's going to drain the battery a lot more. And if, say, for instance, that you wanted to sort of like modify or sort of like soup up by putting a more powerful battery onto the bike itself, what you would end up doing is wearing your motor out quicker, because these motors inside, they have tiny little bushings. Okay. And what it is that you're only supposed to use a certain amount of RPM, which also stands for revs per minute, for your motor to actually spin. Now, I don't know if like you might have heard this old like phrase or saying about, oh, if I get a motorized scooter, like an old sort of old person sort of scooter, and like I want to upgrade the battery on that. Okay, yeah, I have done this myself on my grandma's scooter. Okay, so I know exactly how like what I'm doing with this. It depends. Like a lot of people will think that, yeah, if I put a stronger battery on the scooter, then obviously it'll go faster. No, that's not how it works. No. If, say, for instance, yeah, that you put two batteries on the scooter itself and then cross wire over from positive to negative, positive to negative, positive to negative, yeah, then obviously you'll improve the impedance of the battery. That will internally make the scooter go a lot faster than what it's supposed to. So instead of it doing 8 miles an hour, you do something like 14 or 16 miles an hour. So you'll actually double the incremented speed for that scooter. But when it comes to these like e-bikes, no, it's not going to happen. All right. But with the battery, all you might be able to do is like what I've done. I'll put a bigger battery on my grandma's scooter, a stronger battery, so that it won't basically sort of improve the speed itself, but it will improve the miles that it will do. So if it will only do say like 12 miles, then obviously this one will do 24 miles now. So you won't have to charge it up as much. But even when it comes to charging, yeah, these e-bikes, you need to make sure that you charge them very well. Because if you don't charge them very well, then obviously that you're going to end up killing the battery itself. But like, here's another good tip. Like for instance, like with the motorized bike here, if you fill up your tank, you're going to have a full tank, you're going to get way more miles for obviously like the usage. Like whereas these e-bikes, you don't get that many miles with a battery. So it depends. It's totally on the person that actually wants to build these things. I mean, you can take them out on many different places. With the e-bikes, you can take them out as many different places as you want. You can even take them inside shopping malls and shopping centres and stuff like that. But with the two-stroke petrol engine bikes, you are not allowed to take them basically any other public places. Like you're not even allowed to take them on a train. You can't bring them on a bus. You can't really do much because the smell of the petrol is very, very strong. All right, and obviously you will get actually like noticed as well. Like if you're going out, and it's basically simple. Think about it. If you've got a bicycle with an engine on it, and then obviously a petrol tank on it, it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb in a way. All right, but with the e-bike, I mean, you even get foldable e-bikes now. But like I said, it depends on the people itself. But another thing I've noticed as well is the price. Oh, the e-bikes cost so much money. Like they really do. I mean, if it was me, yeah, I'm only going to college, which is literally 15 minutes walk from where I live. Okay, so I don't really need an e-bike. I don't even need a normal bicycle. I will walk that distance. It don't really bother me. Okay, but another thing, yeah, is that if you are going to get yourself like one of these things, you could have two different options. So like for instance, with the e-bike, you've got like two different styles. Okay, so you can either buy the kit, which you put onto a bicycle and convert it to an e-bike, or you can buy an actual e-bike itself that's already like pre-made, that's already done. But the pre-made ones, they tend to cost say £600, so up to like say £2,000. I've seen them. The prices are ridiculous. But with a motorized bike engine kit, you can get them from like £65 up to like £100 just for the kit. Put them onto a cheap bike. You only need to look on say Marketplace, like Facebook Marketplace or Spock. You can find yourself a cheap mountain bike for like £20. So it's up to you. I mean, you can build yourself sort of like any one of the two different bikes, but it's down to the person itself that actually really, really wants to use these things. So to be honest, yeah, if say for instance, I'll give you an example. If you've got a long journey to do, like loads and loads and loads of miles to do, yeah, and obviously it's on sort of country, sort of like sort of area, and it's private land, yeah, do you know what? Get yourself a motorized bike, yeah. If say for instance, like you've got loads of different say like miles on say like on the actual like normal roads as well, get yourself an e-bike. But I would have said to weigh up the two different options, yeah, what's going to be more reliable, yeah, is down to you. I mean, to be honest, if say for instance, yeah, you've got a long journey ahead of you, yeah, and you forgot to charge your bike, yeah, then obviously you got to think, oh my god, like have I even bought my charger for my bike, like the actual plug that I can just plug it into somewhere. And that's another thing. Say for instance, when you get to your destination, there might not even be plug sockets around. So what do? What, are you going to pedal your bike all the way back home? And that's the thing. Like for instance, with the motorized bike, yeah, you can always carry like a spare little fuel tank. And obviously, like just if it breaks down, you can also like fill up your fuel tank and have enough to get you home. Even if it's on fumes, you'll still be able to get back home. I mean, like I'll give you an example. When I was out going up to central London, right, I didn't really know like obviously if there was going to be any like fuel stations around, because I'm not too familiar with central London, even though I am from London myself. When it comes to going to central London, all right, along the embankment and stuff, I know where the embankment is. But like the way that I done it, I went all the way up the River Lee. Now, because I know that my route and I knew how to plan it roughly, right? I know that there's no fuel stations along the river. There is none. I mean, there's a few pubs, right? But there is no fuel stations. Okay, so what I managed to do is I was thinking, well, if I do manage to find one, right, obviously out of nowhere, I might be able to say come off of where the river is and then go into where one of the roads which I knew, say like Waltham Cross, Waltham Abbey Way, I know that way. And I know that there's a few fuel stations, so I managed to take like a little rucksack with me with a little bottle of two-stroke oil. And you know what? If I did manage to break down or whatever, or run out of fuel, I could just go in there, fill up my thing, and then I thought, you know what? I'll be able to get back home, or I'll be able to get back to, let's say, like Hertford or Central London or wherever, right? But always remember, I mean, if you are going to be sort of like in trouble, you need to think like what you're going to do at the time, because I'll tell you what, pedaling back home, it will kill your legs. It will actually kill your legs to pedal all that way, especially if you're weighing down your frame with a lot more stuff, like especially like an engine or a motor. So it's completely up to you, right? Whatever it is that you want to get, or whatever it is that you want to do, whatever project that you're going to sort of look into, or what you're going to invest in, all right? But you know what? if it was me, yeah, have a little bit of like research. Like if you're gonna actually research about this stuff, yeah, do your research. That's the most important thing. Watch loads of videos, yeah. I mean, I personally, I've had a go with e-bikes. I don't particularly like them. I really don't. I mean, I don't feel as though like that's something that I want to invest my time into or invest my money into either. And because it's not really practical for my needs, that's another thing what you need to think about. If it's practical for your needs, okay. So if you're going to college and you want to get yourself like a little e-bike or something just to get you there and back and whatever, yeah, that's great. That's fine. Yeah, but motorized bikes, it depends on the laws in your country. If you can't use them, don't get them. It's that simple. Yeah. I would have said that motorized bikes, like the actual two-stroke versions, are more like into sort of like private ground racing in a way. I mean, you think about it, you can get yourself a little frame, get yourself the engine kit, mod it up a little bit, sport it up a little bit, and then take it to a bit of private land with your friends. And obviously, it's so cheap that anyone could basically do it. Yeah, and then like even back in the day when my father himself, he used to do like mini racing. He used to race his 1275 like Mini Cooper S. He used to race it, do like grass track racing and everything. And you know what? He used to do it as a hobby with all of his other friends. And if, say, for instance, he wanted to upgrade his engine, like with a few little parts and components, he used to ask his friends, have you got this spare part that I can borrow? Or can I have this part? And they used to say, yeah, and give it to them. So, like, even with these motorized bikes and whatever, yeah, if, say, for instance, like, I've got a few spares at the time and I think, oh, do you know what? I don't need these anymore. I can ask someone who can't really afford that part at that time, look, do you think that you might need this? If they say, yeah, then I'll give it to them. So what it is about actually helping about like other people. Like make sure that you help out all your friends, that obviously like your family if they're into it as well. Yeah, just make sure that like if someone's actually into this hot sort of hobby, you can even introduce them to the new hobby as well. But you know what? I just wanted to bring this little video out and obviously like share my opinion, like my advice. I don't personally think that e-bikes are really good in a way, but that's only my opinion. I mean, I might be wrong. Yeah, but I actually prefer the smell of the two-stroke oil. Every time I ride my bike, I love my bikes. I really do. I think they're wicked. And I'm not going to put e-bikes down totally, but no, it's not really my sort of like forte, which I really want, which I'm really interested in. Okay, but there are loads of other people that will probably think that I'm wrong, but like I said, it's just my opinion, all right? But I just wanted to bring this video out. I hope that everyone really enjoyed this content, all right? And I'm going to carry on making videos like in the future about motorized bikes and many other things. But put down in the comments where it is that you think, like personally, what your opinion of your creation might be. So whether you wanted to build like an e-bike or whether you wanted to build like say a two-stroke version, put it down in the comments and tell me. I'm interested myself to find out what it is that everyone else is like interested in building, all right? So it's been lovely and wonderful to talk to you all as it always is. All right, and just I want you to enjoy the rest of your day. All right, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel because obviously there's a little button here somewhere like around the screen. All right, so subscribe to the channel, yeah, comment, share, like as much as you can, and it's been wonderful to talk to you. All right, hope you enjoy the rest of your day and take care.